Hi friends, my name is Bhai Patil. Today we are going to discuss on interesting subject that is international business on topic on offshore banking. Let's move on next slides. Offshore banking. How to follow procedure of offshore banking are showing in these pictures to offshore banking procedures. Let's move to next slides and discuss on introduction of offshore banking. Offshore banking is a unit are primarily in business and accepting deposit in non-resident currency and leading in term of loans and corporate and other financial institutions. So let move to next slide and discuss on meaning of offshore banking. An offshore bank is a bank regulated under international license, often called offshore license, which usually prohibits the banks from establishing any business activity. The jurisdiction of establishment an account held in foreign offshore bank is often described as an offshore account. So let's move to discuss next slide and discuss on offshore banking definition. An offshore bank is a bank located the other country of residence of depositor, typically in the low tax jurisdiction or tax haven that provide financial and legal advantages. So let's move to discuss on advantages of offshore banking. What is the advantages of offshore bankings? First advantages is to offshore bank can sometimes provide access to politically and economically stable jurisdictions. This will advantage for residents in area where there is risk or political turmoil who fear their assets may be frozen, season or disappears. Second advantages is to some offshore banks may operate with the lower cost based on can provide higher interest rate that the legal rates in home country due to lower rates and lack of government inv- invitations. Let's move to discuss fourth third point of advantages of offshore banking is to interest is generally paid by offshore bank without tax being declared. This is an advantageous to individuals who not pay tax on worldline incomes or who do pay the tax unit the tax return is agree or who feel they can illegally evade tax heading the interest income. Fourth advantages of offshore banking is to some offshore banks offer banking services that may not be available to domestic bank such as anonymous bank accounts, higher of low rate of loans based on risk and investment opportunities not available in wheres elsewhere. Let's discuss on disadvantages of offshore banking. First disadvantages of offshore banking is to offshore bank accounts are sometimes less financially secure. In the banking crisis and swept in the world 2008, in which they were deposited, those who deposited with the banks onshore receive all their money backs. Thus, banking offshore is historical riskier than banking onshore. Second disadvantages of offshore banking is to offshore banking has associated in the past with the underground economy organization crime. Though through money laundering following September 11, 2001, offshore bank has tax haven along with clearinghouse have been accused of helping various organization crime games gangs, tourists groups and other state or non-state actors. However, offshore banking is legitimate financial exercises undertaken by expertise and international workers. Fourth disadvantages, third disadvantages of offshore banking. Offshore jurisdictions are often remote and therefore costly to visit, so physically access to information can difficult find out. Let's move to discuss on benefit of offshore banking. First benefit of offshore banking is to have inflow of foreign exchange. Second benefit, higher interest rate on deposits. Third benefit is to no reserve requirement. Fourth benefit is to interest rate and not control. Fifth benefit is offshore banking is to income generated in form of license fees. Sixth is enhance the country image, and seventh is infrastructure development. So let's move to discuss on criticism of offshore banking. Criticism of offshore banking. First point, encourage shady dealing and financial crimes due to lax policies. Second point is money laundering. Third point is tax evasion. Fourth point is capital fights. Fifth point of criticism bank offshore banking is to vocability in foreign exchange market. Sixth point is loss in government revenue, and seventh point is increase inequalities. Thank you.